Welcome to Hear Me Out and Pass the Scissors, a podcast where two long-distance scrapbooking friends talk creativity, chaos, and cutting things up on purpose. I'm Lisa from Life and Layouts on YouTube.
And I'm Nicole from ColieBing. Whether you're scrapbooking at your desk, your kitchen table, or just in your head, grab your scissors and hear us out.
Welcome back to Hear Me Out and Pass the Scissors. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Nicole, and I have no idea what we're talking about today, so let's go.
That's actually perfect because today's episode is all about when a dumpster fire meets a spreadsheet.
Oh, God.
We're diving into our opposite personalities and creative styles and how that influences our scrapbooking, our content creation, and our friendship.
Oh, this is going to be good.
So, how accurate is dumpster fire and spreadsheet for describing the two of us?
Oh, for sure. Like, to a T.
Yes. I know that you take dumpster fire as a compliment, like you use it on your...
I feel like if you're a dumpster fire, things are very chaotic. Things are a mess. But I know where those things are. I know when those things are due. I know what's happening. I know every piece of paper that's on fire. Just don't ask me to like display it in a concise way that makes any type of sense.
Exactly. So we're talking about all about planning, which is me, and kind of going with the flow, which is you, and how we approach scrapbooking. So the first topic is our scrapbooking styles. Organized, which is me, versus creative chaos. Would you say that's a good title for you?
I do sometimes plan, but even that's kind of like just grab a bunch of stuff and hope for the best.
So you lean a lot into just your intuition.
Mood, yes,
In
very
your-
much. Like, yes. I don't start at the same place. I don't finish at the same place. Like, when I told you, I was like, hey, my brain says that this like wheel would be an amazing thing, but I cannot execute that. So could you please take this and put it into, because I need to see it. It's satisfying. That does not work for me. But your level of being able to pre-plan is like chef's kiss. My pre-planning is whatever my starting off point is, I plug in the rest, I pile a bunch of stuff, and it's the pile of stuff is the plan.
Yes. So that spread or the wheel that I use, which I haven't been using it a lot, but the layout that I showed you earlier today was on the wheel.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I want to go in my room and scrapbook, but I don't know what I want to work on. So
I feel like the wheel is a way for somebody like you who's like got this spreadsheet of stuff that's already planned out, down to the sketch, down to which photo goes in which spot on the sketch, the modification of that photo. Like, and I get it because I used to do it when I would send photos out too. But I feel like the wheel gives just a little bit of like a little tiny trash can on fire being like, I know you're not in the mood to do this, but
here we go. Yes. So let's talk about what your typical like layout session looks like for each of us. So when you sit down to work on a layout, what does it look like?
I don't even know how to explain this. Not giving me any prep was...
Do you want me to go first? Would it be easier if I go first?
No, just I'll word vomit my way through this.
Okay.
Like I said, I start different. I feel like if I'm working through like a sketch bundle or a sketch class, they all start with the sketch. And then I either pick product or I pick photos. And then the opposite gets pulled, you know? I feel like right now I'm in this weird place where sometimes I'm being told, okay, you have to use this collection, which then means I go pick photos first, and then I have to try to find a plan for those two things. So either do something on my own, find a sketch, something. Like I said, I don't have like like when you cook and you get the pan out and you get the cutting board out, like it is different every time, and a lot of times it's whatever I'm in the mood for. Sometimes I get like where I can't think of what it I mentioned in a couple videos. I've done something recently. And I kept repeating it for a while, and now I can't think of what it was. Oh, it was the old wavy Kiwi Lane templates that I've never purged for whatever reason. I was like, you know what, this will work for this one. And then it was like in the back of my mind. And then sometimes I'll get in moods where I think about, like, there was 2 classes I signed up for that both have ended. And I think I've done one layout between the 2 classes. So that's like on the back of my mind that I'm like, oh, let me go see if any of these tasks on my plate will fit into one of these and kind of 2 birds, 1 stone.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't have like I don't have a method. I don't have which sucks.
I think the one time you asked me about my videos, like I had screenshotted all the videos that I was doing for like March Madness or back in October, or my daily layouts. And you were like, how do you get all of your images to look like that? And I was like, because I start every video with all of my product on my table.
I feel like anytime I've asked you, hey, what do you do, or how do you do that? You immediately either send me a video that you've already done, a link to a spreadsheet, like you have it down, and you sometimes will only do it that way. And that's when I like to come in with okay, hear me out for a second. What if you did this? And then you did that thing where you kick your feet back on your desk and you just stare at me, and I'm like, oh no, I broke her.
That's what I'm actually thinking.
And you're like, no, I'm considering.
I feel like my personality, and even with like my work and stuff, it's always been, I have to have a plan. I have to figure out how to do something. And then once I figure that out, that is how it's done forever and ever.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like meal planning, layout planning, like if things are pre-planned, it definitely goes smoother for me. But sometimes just the slog of having to sit down and do a planning session is enough to be like, okay, frozen pizza it is. Like, we're gonna I need to cut a quarter somewhere.
I agree. There with meal planning, I hate that. I hate having to think about like what to cook. And
I think that's why I like either sitting in a sketch bundle or sitting in a class. And normally I would, like those 2 classes that I said I had signed up for, normally I would like get my way through them. I think just with the year that I'm having and being on design teams and stuff, like I try not to mesh too many different things together, because, you know, you're trying to do a job or you're trying to show off product versus a technique, if that makes sense.
mm-hmm.
So sometimes it just comes down to time. I need that 8th day.
I think we would all need that. I do feel like for my scrapbooking, it is very planned out. And
I feel like you're like regimented, like it is set in your routine. I think you wake up thinking about what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like you don't go to bed until it's finished.
Mm-hmm.
You don't start the next one until you put things away.
Yes.
I just push it to the side, pull the next thing in.
So that was actually the next question was, how does your workspace reflect your style?
I mean, it's pretty rough right now. Thank God you can't see the floor. I think I've like accidentally gotten myself into like an unintentional batch method of doing things. I'll plan a bunch of stuff out. I knocked out 4 layouts in 3 days, which was pretty quick for me. But then when it came down to, it's taken me like a week and I still haven't finished editing or doing the videos and stuff like that because I don't want to. Like I barely just put the stuff away today. I wish I could be somebody like you, where like you're done, you go put it away, you go take the pictures, you start editing the video. You don't do the next thing until that project has completely gone through the process, until it is scheduled and the layout is on your shelf ready to go on an album.
Well, okay, so not quite. I will do it in batches, in the sense that like
I know you do your voiceovers in batches.
Yes. And I will create layouts in batches, but I create the layout, everything is put away before another layout comes out. But then I feel like the editing process and voiceover, all the YouTube stuff is separate from the creating process.
Yeah.
So I can create as many layouts as need to, and that until I run out of space on my hard drive.
Yes, been there. I
Yeah.
think my having deadlines and having to turn something into somebody else is sort of what makes me have to pause the creative, like with the dark side thing where you're stuck in that phase 3 and you just want to touch paper, but you're like, okay, I have to go do this.
Yeah. And I mean, that part of it, let's see if I can see it. These two shelves right here.
I have to make you bigger to see it. Oh, yes.
Yes, that shelf and no, wait, backward. This shelf are full of layouts that need to be put away.
Meanwhile, the equivalent in my room is a box on the floor.
Well, when I did my room reset back in October, which I can't believe that's been almost a year, I made sure that I had a space for layouts that I need to put away.
Yeah, I did too. And then a box of stuff showed up and the box took the listen. It's I'm trying. But that's where I think like having a friendship with somebody that is the opposite of you is it starts to bleed over where I'm like, I'm tracking my stuff on a spreadsheet. Am I actually keeping up with it? No, but the intention was there.
I feel like we always fall back on not following up on things, even when you're a planner. Like there's times where I look at a spreadsheet and I'm like, oh, I haven't updated this in a while, and I'll go in and update it.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest part of this section of the topic, you hit it right on the nail. It's that there's not really a single right way to do things, and having a friendship that is opposite really does make it interesting and pushes you outside your limits.
I think it pushes people. I think I messed up when I started the hear me out with you, because now you do that back to me and I'm like, like she's either gonna tell me to go clean something or log something.
All right, so the next section has to do with planning versus kind of going with the flow. So does this go into other parts of your life, not just scrapbooking? So I am a planner outside of scrapbooking. Are you a go with the flow in everything else, or is there anything in your life outside of scrapbooking that is not that way?
I don't even know how to answer this. We literally, both kids left yesterday, and I was like, please take me out to eat somewhere. Like, 2 weeks into like, trying to defluff. I was like, please, can we go eat somewhere? This man likes to not tell me where we're going because he does not respect the fact that if we're going somewhere that I've been before, I want to think about the menu that I know. And if we're going somewhere new, I want to look up the menu. So I don't know how you would classify that, but I don't know. Like, with kid stuff, I like knowing a couple days in advance what's going on. We're just not the type of people that sit around and go, you want to get up and go do this right now? No. Yeah. But I'm also very much like, I don't want to leave my house.
Yeah, I am very much that way as well. I
have carved out, I don't know what I'm going to do when school starts. I have carved out like a pretty solid routine, like Monday through Friday, where I come up here for a set amount of time, get as much as I can done. A couple days a week, I come up here at night because of you. Normally I would not be working at night. Normally I'd be scrolling or reading or something, which I think that has upped my, not workload. What's the word I'm thinking of? Output?
Your project.
Yes. So again, that's where like the other type of personality comes, because half the time it's like, do I really want to work on something? No. But do I want to sit around and talk to you? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'll be up there.
Yeah.
Even if this means I'm putting stuff away.
Yeah. Which is also needed.
But you tell me every time too.
Yeah. I think for me, I am a planner in everything that I do. It's very hard for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like I know if I ever got to the point where I was like, hey, we're coming to Orlando. We got tickets to Disney. I would not have to, other than getting to the front of the park, I would not have to plan a single thing other than telling you I want a churro.
Yeah. And I will tell you that when I do take people to Disney, the experience is different every time because I do tailor my planning to the person.
Yeah, like who wants to see what? Yeah.
Yeah. So if we're going as a girls trip, it's going to look completely different if you bring your hubby and your kids.
Oh, no, he doesn't go anywhere.
And it's funny how sometimes Eli says things and that whole nature versus nurture thing just is shining through because the things that he says, I'm like, that is so me. I don't know that I've ever like said those things to him, but I could see it. Today, I had to go to the grocery store and I said, "You want to go to the grocery store with me?" And he said, "No, I've been gone all week. I need to stay home and relax."
Meanwhile, mine are mad because I did a grocery pickup order. Somehow I skipped the whole meal planning part and I
Mhm.
only got stuff that we needed. I got like drinks and stuff that we needed for like the weekend. And we're all just staring at each other, wondering what are we eating tomorrow? Like that's tomorrow's problem. We'll figure it out. There's always something to eat, but it's
Yeah.
the lack of convenience.
Yes. I saw this TikTok the other day that talked about how what did she call herself? She called herself an ingredients household. And she was like, we don't have any type of like pre-planned stuff. Everything is ingredients. So like we can make whatever we want. And I was like, that does not
Hmm.
work. Because when I go in the kitchen, I don't want to spend hours making biscuits when I can just pop a can open.
Yeah, I think we're in the middle somewhere because I see the ingredient household versus I can't think of what they call the other one, but I think we're kind of in the middle where I try to keep like the frozen stuff that they want to cook themselves. But then if nobody tells me that they finished everything, I don't know. I would just say I am chaotic everywhere, but I look like I have my stuff together.
And that's the most important thing.
I know how to take a good marketing picture. I know how to show up early. My kids are in the principal's office.
Okay. So how does your space shape your process? Like how long does it take you to create a layout? And like in regards to that with the batch processing, like how long does it take to create your batches that you create?
I mean, not having a system means every layout is a different length of time. If I stitch or decide that the too much jean is going to hit hard, it takes a while. But definitely the cleaner my room. And when I did my big like room, I've done like two. One where I like purged a bunch of furniture and then I went to IKEA and got some stuff. And then I did another one, I think 2 years ago, where I really focused on trying to find homes for things. Is I feel like there's almost like a maturing that you do the more that you craft, and you have to just kind of understand your process. And I am somebody that likes to stack things. So I knew going into IKEA that I needed desk space more than I needed like vertical space. I'm now at a point where I'm realizing I do need to start getting some vertical space to put product, but I'm somebody that likes to spread out. So the cleaner my room, the earlier in that batch process, the quicker I can work, the more likely I am to put things away. The closer to a deadline, deeper into multiple, sometimes I work on stuff 3 or 4 at a time, especially where I'll get stuff to the point of stitching or to the point of journaling and kind of batch that out. If there's stuff everywhere, just imagine it's midnight and there's 17 raccoons in a dumpster. That's what's happening until because I'm like, I don't care if my room's a mess. I care that somebody's waiting on something for me and I will turn it in on time. My room can wait.
Yeah. And I do have that feeling as well. Like I am a pile person as well. And I feel like that's an ADHD thing. Like there's been these tools or tips or tricks that people have said a person with ADHD like do try these things. And some of them work well and some of them not so much.
But you've
I
been diagnosed, right?
yes.
Because I don't want to know.
I
Like,
I feel like I needed to know because I wanted to be that it goes back to
You wanted to research it and plan around it, and
figure out a way to figure out my brain is what I wanted.
mhm.
So I wanted to be able to say this is the type of ADHD I have and how can I make it work for
I
me.
have heard that women and women who enjoy creative hobbies are more likely to have ADHD. But
Mhm.
I don't want to know if I have it. It's not it's not another fire I need.
I think that goes back to our personality styles as well. And I think that what you were saying about learning your style and playing into your style is a big part of anybody's scrapbooking. When new people come about and they're like, "Oh, how do I get started and what I do?" That's a hard question to answer.
I feel like my answer is always you do you. Like you have to, even if your style is scrap lifts, okay, great. Go scrap lift. If you like the layouts that you're seeing that are based on sketches, then go explore sketches. There's nothing wrong with that. If you like pre-made kits that have instructions, lean into that. I feel like there's so many. It's kind of like cuisine. Like you got to find what you like. It's okay to only like that thing.
Mhm.
Lean into it and save your money by only leaning into that instead of leaning into everything because everybody else is telling you what they like. And it's like, no, you got to like what you like. It's okay.
I think, like for me, I am not a mixed media person. I don't like that look on my layout.
Yeah, I feel like I love watching them. I love watching like the videos of people doing it. I don't I'm a kid as a kid. Um, that would put me in a straight spasm is if I got my feet wet or my feet dirty
Mhm.
or my hands dirty, I was done. Even as an adult, my husband made me cross a river and I had to take my socks and shoes off. And then I was just all I could think about was the fact that when I got to the other side, my feet were going to be wet and they were going to be dirty. And I couldn't, I just sat in the woods and cried.
I think that that makes me think of another question for you.
Oh, God.
Do you wear, do you wear shoes all the time? Do you currently have shoes on?
No, when I have socks on. We don't wear shoes in the house. I do have like slip-on sandal things because we have the dog gets distracted, so he needs an escort when we take him out. Um, I bare feet on concrete is enough to make me shiver. Like if I'm swimming, it's one thing, but like you will not catch me in natural water.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm,
No.
mm-mm.
So I am a barefoot person all the time.
And I feel like that doesn't match us. I feel like me being as chaotic of a mess, you would think that I would be barefoot everywhere and I sleep in socks. Like I can't do it.
Well, I know where mine comes from is because it's funny that the what I saw with my nephews and then what I saw with us. Growing up as kids, we never wore socks or shoes. It wasn't until we were like required to wear socks and shoes. So the first like 3 years of my life, no socks or shoes. And when we went to pre-K for the very first time and had to wear shoes, both my sister and I threw the biggest fit because we didn't want to wear shoes. So then when my mom was caring for my nephews, she put them in shoes like the day they.
She didn't want to fight that.
So now when Eli came to live with me, he would walk around the house with shoes on, and I'm like, no, no, take your shoes off. And he's like, but I need my shoes. Like,
Okay, but don't laugh because I feel like the other sometimes I will be barefoot in my own house because like I know where my house has been. But if I'm doing like a room cleaning and I'm filming and I know I'm getting to the point where a couple ladies have told me that they really like to watch me vacuum. So like, I'll give them what they want type of thing. I will go downstairs and put socks on before I vacuum because there's weird people on the internet and nobody's getting my feet for free. Like these are the things that I've learned about the internet is put socks on before you film your feet. So when I saw you were doing a layout video and you walked across the living room and you were barefoot, I was like, for free?
That's what I was gonna say. I'll have to go back and watch my videos because I don't know if my feet were in them.
I don't think I've ever, maybe in some Disney photos you've posted when you were wearing sneakers, I was like, she has to be wearing socks. But I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen you wearing socks.
Mm-mm. No, yeah. So I own one pair of sneakers, and that is to wear to Disney, and that is it. I don't like wear them anywhere else. Like maybe we go out in the woods somewhere, but that's very rare. So one pair of sneakers and probably, I don't know, 6 pair of flip-flops. And they're not like the cheap flip-flops either. Like I have Skechers and I have a pair of Nike flip-flops. Like they're because I know that I'm going to wear them all the time, so I do invest.
And if you're walking parks in them and stuff.
So if I'm going for a couple hours, like I know that I'm not going to be there long, I'll wear flip-flops to Disney as well.
Yeah. I see, this is the stuff that I'm like, when you're like, I want to do a podcast. And I was like, we talk about some weird stuff. Like, what? What's going to make the cut? And you're like, I don't know.
No, man.
There's been many a night where we've 180'd from like, let's talk about the industry to, did you see that post from someone?
But I think that this type of stuff, even with the barefoot and wearing socks all the time, is also goes into our personality and can be brought back around to scrapbooking.
I don't know how.
Because it plays into like who we are and like.
But that's the thing is I feel like when you see a finished, edited, brightly lit, watermarked photo of my beautiful layout, you are not seeing the fact that I probably wasn't wearing a bra. My room was a mess. I probably took 12 trips to Uber a child somewhere during the case of putting that layout together. But smoke and mirrors makes it look like I have my stuff together.
And you were wearing socks.
Because I edit things out of my videos that people don't even see.
I think that we all do. And I do feel like
I don't know if anybody knows this because I feel like I learned it recently because I will watch your videos and I'll be like, I feel like I look at them from like, I'm watching it as a scrapbooker, but then I feel like I'm also watching it as a fellow content creator. And I've sent you many questions being like, hold up. I feel like I just peeked behind the curtain. I don't know how long it took me to realize that you do not do your voiceovers in one breathless one and go like I do. You like plan what you're going to say. You think about it. You pause. If you fluff, you cut that out. And I'm just over here like raw dogging it like, hey, here you go. Enjoy.
That goes back to spreadsheets and dumpster fire. Like I have to plan it all out. Now I don't really plan out my voiceovers. Some of them I do, like if it's like for a special thing, but most of them I just kind of go wing it and then do a lot of editing.
I feel like I tried probably like 5 years ago. I was like, okay, let's be like the big kids and let's be professional, and I hated it. And I was like, okay, we're just gonna just try to get it done in like one take type of thing. I think maybe 20 times I've had to stop because I just got to the point where I was like, I'm not in the mood to do this. This needs to be redone or cut or something. But I noticed back then when I shifted to a more casual type of voiceover, my views went up, my engagement went up. So I must have been hitting something with people. But I feel like I watch so many different content creators and they all do everything different. And I think that's what keeps people going back to them. Because I feel like you're over here like listing the product and all this stuff. And I'm like halfway through before I'm like, oh, hey, I cut paper. Let's talk about it for a second.
Well, then there's times where like the month in review for July, and I didn't mention you at all. Like after I recorded it, after it was up, I was like, I don't know that I mentioned Nicole. I really don't.
But it was like 5 or 6 videos with your wheel, my wheel, our wheel. I messaged you out in the backyard with the dog and I was like, hey, do you reuse that intro? Because how does it sound so perfect every time? And you were like, yes. I was like, I would have never thought to do that. I would have just, like I said, raw dogged it every time.
Which it's funny that I do that for the wheel, but I don't do it for my outro, which is the exact same thing every time.
I was gonna say, because for a while there, I thought you had your outro like pre-recorded, but then it was like just a touch different. And I was like, nope. I think she's cutting. I think she's coming back with like a new breath, and
Mhm.
she's doing that part.
Yes. That last breath is done, or
It's
that
rare when I can tell, like now that I know you cut your audio a lot, now I can tell where I'm like, hey, what was different about this one? Because I messaged you about that before, and you were like, what do you give me something more specific? And it was literally something like, oh, I did it in the morning when I was like not in a bad mood, or I did it at night after I had done 5 and I was over it.
well, there's that one video too. I don't remember which video it was, but it was a video. Oh, it had to have been Creating Collections, because at the very end, I realized I didn't say anything about you. And so I was
It's
like, I'll just,
fine.
yeah. But I was like, I'll just record it at the end, and then I'll just cut it from the end and put it at the beginning. So after I did my whole
My little
video,
face is on the intro card. It's fine.
I know, but I still wanted to like give you a shout out. But then when I did that, the very beginning of the video, I'm very soft spoken, but
Yes.
stuff over the end, it was like really loud. So then when I cut the
You were
really
like
loud and put it back in the
aggressively excited to
very,
talk about this. I was like, what is happening? I remember messaging one day and being like, are you okay? And you were like, why? I said, because I just watched, and I watch them out of order half the time. I'm like, you sounded not good. And I don't know that a regular viewer would pick up on stuff like that.
probably not. And that, I think sometimes when I'm recording my videos, I'm like, I feel like I have said this in every video that I
But
have
you
done.
never know if that's the video that somebody is the first time that they're seeing you. That's like one of my favorite things on TikTok is when you go in the comments and they're like, mind you, this is my first time meeting you. And there's something chaotic happening. I always think in the back of my mind, okay, is somebody has just found me. How do I explain myself?
So what questions do you get often
Oh, it's
that
all the
you
stuff
feel
I
like,
can't answer because I'm so chaotic. It's how do you pick pattern paper? Well, I pull 20 and I use 2. I I like what I like. And like I said, it kind of depends on either the starting point of a layout or the motivation for a layout. So like sometimes it'll be like I have one in here that I just need that 8th day to get to, where like I know it's going to be a stash dive. I know it's going to be I did too much, but the end result will be chef's kiss. I just have to get to it.
Mhm.
And it's one of those things that like I can see it in my head. I can't explain that to somebody. I've explained it to you and you're like, "What do you mean you can see it in your head? It's dark." And I'm like, "No, it's not dark." So I get asked a lot like, "How do I pick paper? How do I build clusters?" Which I feel like for like 10 years I've been diehard like not anti, but like, you know how you hear the traditional 3 cluster thing? This just never been my thing. I feel like I always start out thinking like, okay, there's 3 clusters on the sketch. Somebody else has already done the design work for me. Halfway through the layout, I can't find the sketch anymore, and I've already jumped to what my brain wants to do.
Right.
And that might be 7 clusters.
Mm-hmm.
That might be one giant scene. Like, I go with what I like, and it's really hard for me to explain that
Mm-hmm.
in my rambling voiceover, but I do try. I
Yeah.
try.
I feel like the questions I get all the time are, what font do I use? Which I
I
feel
have
like
a
I
whole
say,
video on that because that one came up a lot too.
yeah. I feel like I say it, I don't know, every other video is the font that I use, but the video I don't say it on, I get the
I've
question.
almost answered comments for you because I'm pretty sure it's throwing my hands in the air because I told you about that one and I recognize that one a lot. um, and I feel like I see the same questions pop up on like your comments too. But you're good because I feel like you have a video response to almost every single thing that you get asked. And I know you keep beating me up about making one for the printer. I'll get there. I'll get there.
That goes back to my training background and what I do
I
in my,
also think that you're somebody who can't, and this isn't a bad thing. Like I can have like oh, I want to do this, and it'll go on a post-it note in my brain somewhere of I'll get to it at some point. You don't have the, I'll get to it at some point. You have, it's like here, it's on the front. And you're like, I cannot move on until this is gone. And I'm like, well, why did you put it in the front? Put that thing in the back and get to it. We can get to it.
Because there's nothing back there. That's the point, is that
Because you're like a train. You're just like, go, 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 go. You literally said the other day something about another 30-day whatever. And I was like, I can't talk to you right now. Because, oh, it's downstairs. You made me sign up for that daily thing that's going to hit at the end of the month. And I'm like, why? How did I get here? I don't have time for this. And you're like, but daily content. And I'm like, I don't do daily content.
but it's going to boost your algorithm.
But they're going to be little videos.
That's fine.
Like shorts. Because I can't, that's the thing is I can get behind editing a layout video. I think I've done it for so long. I don't know why. Trying to edit a card making video. It's hard. And I don't understand why.
Well, it is a totally different type of content.
Yeah, but the editing should be the same. No?
No.
I feel like those ones are the ones that I'm like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. I don't think that cards are like my forte, so I wouldn't know what to say on them either. Like,
I don't do like technique type stuff. I'm over here just die cutting because it makes my brain quiet. I glue 1,000 pieces together because it makes my brain quiet.
Which, I mean, that's like, I can diagnose you right now.
I don't need that kind of drama. I don't need another raccoon in the dumpster. It's fine.
So, where did you start with scrapbooking? Like, have you always had a scrapbook room? Did you start at the dining room table?
I would say about the time I started shopping. Yeah, we had bought our first house. It was a 3-bedroom house. We didn't have kids. So one was a guest room, one had some folding tables and my stuff in it. We moved to another house, again, spare bedroom. I actually started making stuff. When we moved to a rental and we were getting ready to have kids, I had 1 bedroom till we had our first kid. And then I moved my stuff out to the formal dining room because who's out here using a formal dining room? Like we eat. Where's the TV tray? Like, and I was out in the open for a long time, and I just kind of used like cabinets and tried to keep stuff like up out of the way. But it was one of those things where I could go do something for like 5-10 minutes while toddlers are running around tearing your house apart, and then if they would go take a nap, I had like an hour, and that was when I started filming. So that was weird too, because I was like, I don't want to film while anybody's around because this is weird.
Well, did you start with non-voiceovers, like actual recording, or did you always do voiceovers?
Oh, I always did voiceovers. I don't remember. I think I started in like 2013. Ooh. God. So long ago. They're so bad. Nobody go back there. Nobody do that thing where you go to somebody's channel and you reverse the order of their videos. Don't do that. It's embarrassing. I don't remember anybody at the time really working in what I would call real time, where they were kind of putting it together and talking at the same time they were filming. I feel like everything that I kind of learned off of was remove the audio, speed it up, come back in and explain your process. And that was kind of how I learned, was watching other people.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that I was ever, and I'm a very indecisive person. So I can't sit there for 20 minutes because if it's going to take me 20 minutes to pick paper, nobody needs to watch me talk to myself for 20 minutes trying to decide on paper.
I think for me, I started off in my like dining room area. Well, I started in college, so everything was in a scrap organizer, and I didn't scrap at home at all. Like I scrapped only.
Wasn't it I feel like you told me didn't your husband like push you to have like a dedicated space?
Yeah, well, that was so when I started in 2004, I was in just doing crops, didn't scrap at home. We then when we moved into the house with my husband, I got my first like scrap space, and it was flat, half guest room, half scrap space. And it just kind of grew from there. My Kevin wasn't my husband, he was just next. He's the one that encouraged the videoing and starting my YouTube channel. But that was 10 years into scrapbooking. So I had a dedicated space.
I feel like I don't know that I've watched your first videos. I might have to do that soon because I'm running out of stuff to watch. Guaranteed, little baby spreadsheet Lisa did not make her first video without extensive research, probably a script. Like, I learned as I went.
Mm-hmm.
It was rough.
Yeah, my first videos were very well planned out.
And I remember, I want to say, probably around the time I started watching you, I remember thinking, I really like her content. I need her to slow down because I can't hear what she's saying. And I speed talk. I am speed talker. So you would think, like, and I think it was in the last couple of years where I was like, hey, hear me out. Slow down.
I think that is nerves as well.
Yeah, I feel like anytime you know that you're recording and that it's like open for anybody to listen to and pick apart and judge, you get like in your head about it. But I know you don't talk that fast when you're teaching.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Because I used to do it too, and I had to kind of tell myself, like, you have to slow down, you have to pretend like you're teaching or like you're narrating, and it forces you to talk a little slower.
Yeah. I think it's more of when I'm teaching and standing in front of a classroom and doing it, it's not being recorded, and so you can't come back and say what I did or didn't say. Not that I wasn't saying anything inappropriate, but it's different when it's actually recorded. And
oh my gosh, I kind of wish the craft community wasn't, I don't want to say sensitive, but everybody tries to, like, you know, be nice, don't cuss, don't talk about certain things. Every once in a while, I'm like, I kind of want to just do like a dirty voiceover and be like, look at this bleeping paper, and I bleeped this and bleeped that. You like, see you bleeping later.
I don't know that I've ever had a layout that I've really been extremely frustrated with. I mean, there's been layouts where I'm like, oh, I'm over this, but
I feel like I've had some. Here's the thing that I actually like about making videos is I'm somebody that I do not have a good memory. I can read a book a month later. I could probably read it again and not remember a lot. Like movies, TV shows, I don't have a good memory, especially if it's verbal type of stuff. So like you're like, we've talked about this, and I'm like, it's not there. I don't know what to tell you. There's like layouts that I can remember making. I could tell you what I was watching. I could tell you what was going on in my personal life at the same time, because it's like you sit with it for so long while you make it, and then you sit with it while you're editing it, and then you sit with it while you're sharing it and stuff. My favorite are the ones where I spell something wrong and use liquid glue. Those are my favorite. Which again is why I tend to, like, I'll send pictures of stuff when I finish it to like you or a couple other friends, and I'm like, if there's a typo, they will let me know, or I take the good photos. And my favorite is when you go to edit it and you watch yourself do it, and you're just like, why are you doing that?
Mm-hmm. I think for me, the one thing that I hate the most is using the journaling strips and putting them in the wrong order. Done that multiple times.
I don't think I don't put them in the wrong order, but I typically have a typo, and it's only because I prefer the sheet version, and there's no spell check in sheets. So sometimes I'll type it up in docs and like copy it over.
Yeah, that's what I usually do, is type it in docs. But there's been times too where I have cut and paste from docs over to the spreadsheet, because you have to do it line by line.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not like cut the entire word, or so come in misspelled that way as well.
At least with the journaling strip, when you have to go fix a typo, you only have to do one line.
Yes.
So sometimes I'll have like a pile of stuff that either needs a date real quick, and I'm like, let's just use the journaling strip, or something spelled wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep like a list of when I get the comment that says like, hey, you spelled this wrong on your journaling. And I'm like, who's zooming in on my journaling? I appreciate it. But then it goes back to why I put socks on before I go vacuum my floor, because people are zooming in and judging. I think the typo girls are there for my benefit.
Yeah. I also feel like they point out your typos because you have said in your videos to let me know.
Yeah, and I've always had an issue of typically I forget a word, and it's because I think I think faster than I can type, and I can type pretty fast.
Yeah.
So it doesn't help. So a lot of times, and it's always like the negative word. So if you're supposed to say like we did not get on the train, I will leave the not out.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't make any sense. The last one, my year had 5 digits in it. They were all 2s. It was fine. I fixed it. But it made it all the way to a video, Instagram photos and everything, to the brand. And I was like,
yeah,
they picked me.
All right. So on that note, what motivates you to keep scrapbooking even if like you're not feeling it?
I'm gonna be freaking honest, because normally I would go, my viewers know this, I would go MIA. There would be no vacation. I just would not come up here. I would not be in the mood to do something. And then like the longer I would get away from doing something, I wouldn't want to come back up here, because I know that that first layout coming back is going to be rough. It's going to be too many decisions. I'm not going to like it. Something's going to go wrong. You don't let me disappear.
This is true.
I appreciate it. And then sometimes I'm like, so sometimes it's me just cleaning or die cutting or editing or sitting here talking while you scrapbook, but I'm up here. And typically it's getting up here that gets me like going. But then deadlines also keep me going, which is one reason that I like teams, as long as they're a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why like sometimes I'll give myself deadlines. I would not be getting month in review done on time if you hadn't issued this whole like last of the month thing. And I'm like, how many days are in August? You give me a 3-day warning and I'm like, good, haven't started yet. I'll see you in 2 days. I feel bad that I've like not been as deep into creating with collections as I normally am, but I haven't gotten the ick yet.
Yeah.
Because I keep putting it away.
I do feel like, because we're in August,
we need to have an August-September push, because here's the thing. I am hanging on for dear life. I have, 8 more days until the school district takes back their joint custody of these children. And I will have to revamp my routine as well. And I have a feeling I'm going to have to do some night shifts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try to do more. Somehow I keep finding pockets of time to do more.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm getting it done, but I'm getting it done.
I think that the more you have said yes this year, the more you've realized how much you can do.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then I get myself in, like, I still have to go do my walk tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's why I think having friends that are opposite of you helps you almost like take things from each other that benefit you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I'm benefiting you. I feel like I asked you this and you said straight up entertainment, and I was like, facts, I'll take it. That's fine. If it gets you out of your head a little bit,
mm-hmm.
it gets you, I don't think I've loosened you up at all.
No, I think so. For me, what keeps me motivated is that like when I wasn't scrapbooking and I wasn't posting on YouTube, so that like year break that I took, I had a lot going on, like Eli moving.
Yeah,
that was huge. But there was also other like emotional stuff that I had to deal with during that time as well. And not being in my scrapbook room was a way to avoid like dealing with all of that stuff. So
yeah, because I feel like especially when it's like pictures, it's like in your face.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get away from it. You can't not think about it.
Yeah.
You can cover up everybody's faces with Post-it notes and just put the layout together. No, your brain is going to naturally, as soon as you relax into it, your brain's going to start hyper-focusing on what you're trying to avoid.
Yeah. And so taking that break gave me the opportunity to create new memories that I could then scrapbook. Because before that, I was pretty much caught up. Like I would like in no way was everything done, but everything that I kind of wanted to do was
Like the important stuff, the big events.
yeah. And I was even scrapbooking for other people. But it so having him move in gave me that opportunity to create those memories. But for me, getting in here is I don't want to get back into that rut that I was in during that year as well, because I don't want to.
I feel like for you especially, like I have too many hobbies and you just go hard on one. And when you don't do it, I think you get in your head that you're like somehow letting yourself down and you don't allow yourself to just be like, my brain and my mental state needs to be here. You want it over here because that makes you feel better. But if you're not ready to be over there, then you have to just feel the feels until you're there. But I think it's a way for you to take care of yourself. Like you're in there, you're doing what you want to do, how you want to do it, the way you've planned out doing it. Eli knows where to find you. Like that's your like happy place.
Yeah. It definitely gives me the ability to control things when I can't control everything else.
I think that's part of your spreadsheet thing is having control over it. And I see the benefit of it because when I start feeling like overwhelmed with like disorganized photos and stuff, I know enough to be like, okay, this is an issue. You have to fix it, but I cannot just sit here and do like a week-long death march to get myself there.
Yeah. And my planning does come with going to monthly crops.
Yeah, because you've said that that's like you don't work on layouts. You go work on planning and you socialize and you don't have to take your filming setup and stuff like that.
Yeah. And so in the summertime, I don't go as often because it's just summer and there's just so much going on. But like next month I'll go, and it is a time where I'm able to probably knock out like at least 10 layouts that I can plan on the spreadsheet, get the photos.
But I think that goes to your level of planning, which I feel like I used to do that more when I was using kits and I was printing out of my house. I kind of needed to know this goes here, this goes here. I want this exact photo here. Printing it home and doing whatever the mood calls for is the only thing that makes sense to me. So my level of planning is usually a due date, a brand, a challenge, a sketch, something. Some sort of combination of let me grab this collection with this sketch or this class with this stash dive. That's the extent of my planning.
Yeah. And but I will tell you that since I bought the printer that
the boyfriend,
I have been printing at home more, which has been nice.
You have to admit, when you mess up a photo and you're like, I don't want to wait 4 days for Walgreens or whatever, like you just turn around and you're like, I'm coming for you.
Well, the photo, Eli already took the trash out. The photo that I worked on today, the layout, I had printed it before. It was already planned. It was a layout that I had planned for a while. But it was when I first started doing my Canva templates and the collages. And I was looking at it and I was like, these white borders are huge. So I reprinted that photo, made the white border smaller, and like you can see more of the photos because there are 11 photos on.
I'm telling you, it saves me. There are, like, going back to the bad memory thing, there are people that are ingrained in my brain that have left me comments on videos that point out things like typos, or this one lady left me a comment. She said, every time you go to put adhesive on the back of your photos, I'm cringing because you're doing it over the other photos. And I'm like, yeah, 50-50 on if I'm going to ruin that photo. But guess what? I got a printer right behind me. And I do it every time. At least one in probably every 3 or 4 layouts. I mess up a photo, print it wrong, dreamed too big, it needs to be smaller, something. If I had to wait for it, I would not finish that layout.
I do think that before the cost of printing photos at home
Mhm.
seem cost efficient.
Yeah, my tipping point, I still have it. I threw it in the closet because I got mad at it. I have the Epson Picture 400 that everybody swears by. Years ago when I was debating between that one and the selfie one, I think it was Carrie Bradford on her blog. She compared the two of them, and that one just made more sense to me. I didn't love the fact that the refill, all 4 colors are locked together. And even 4 or 5 years ago, it was $33 for a refill, and you got 100 to 110 prints from it. So you're looking $45 to $50 to print 100 pictures. This thing I fill up maybe once a year, and all 4 colors are maybe $35. Like, I'm not like a quality snob. Print's good enough for me. I use the basic photo paper. It's good enough for me. I'm the only one looking at my albums. They're not going to go to anybody else. When I'm old, they're going to go in a dumpster. It's okay.
I think that's one of the things I realized as well, is when you let go of the fact that while most people do start scrapbooking to preserve memories, a lot of us got started with creative memories, and that's ingrained in us.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, these albums aren't for anybody else but me.
Yeah, I enjoy the process. I don't really shop. I'm not out here buying shoes and purses. We don't really travel. Like, this is what I spend my time and my money on because I like doing it.
Yeah. And I feel like once you are in this hobby for a while and you start to accumulate the amount of albums and layouts that we have accumulated, it just doesn't matter anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those stories, they're told, and that's great. And
Mm-hmm.
but,
That's like if somebody says, well, oh, is it acid free? I'm like, I have no idea. I don't.
and I don't care.
No. I had fun cutting paper, putting it together. I filmed it. I showed it to you. I hope you had fun watching me watch it. If it rots in 100 years, guess who will not be here?
And I am sure that the people that are looking at it will not care. So, and that's also given me the freedom to document crappy photos. Like, one of the layouts that I just recently did, the photos were crappy, but the story behind it was really good. And
I think I left you a comment on the July month in review. I was like, she gets it. She finally has drunk the month in review Kool-Aid, where I'm like, don't be wasting your time feeling like you have to do layouts for all these one-off photos. No, shove them together. They're done.
yes.
You can big check box in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Feels so good.
And I
move on and do the ones that are important to you.
And I think too, when I first started month in review, I looked back on that layout, and I think I had like 7 photos on that layout in January of this year.
Mm-hmm. Now you're squeezing.
There was 18 stories and 22 photos on that.
And I feel like I feel like I talked to you about this like a year ago, and you were like, it's not really my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of started leaning.
Yeah.
And I was like, just try it. It's a good dumping place. And there's nothing that says you can't go back and do a dedicated layout if you change your mind later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the one in July, I did the selfie that I took from our family photo.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just did the actual family photo session. So while it's 2 different things, like obviously the photo I took wasn't as great as the ones she took, but it still is documenting the same topic.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was proud of you. I was like, she gets it. She gets it.
I finally get it. I finally do. All right. So I think that we have covered everything that I wanted to cover in regards to it. Is there anything that you can think of that we need to talk about in regards to dumpster fire?
I was gonna say, I already forgot the topic. Differences, yin yang. I don't know. Listen, I'm here for. I put side piece in the thing. I'm just here for. That's my side job.
All right. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today, and one more episode down, which is super exciting. So we will catch you on the next one when we want you to hear us out.
Do I have to say anything, or can I just be like, bye? Just put that in there.
I'm totally gonna put that in there.
You know I'm not here for any sort of seriousness.
Oh my goodness.
You wanted to do a podcast. I was dumb enough to say yes. Well,
Thanks for hanging out with us. If you like this episode, make sure you follow the show so you don't miss what's coming next.
We're so glad you joined us today, whether you were gluing, cutting, or just avoiding your photo backlog.
Until next time,
Pass the scissors.